Read the disclaimer. When I first watched Adventure Time, I thought the series was aimed at an early teen demographic, but the more I watched it, the more uncertain I was. Frankly, most of the fans I know are adults. I think one of the reasons for this is Adventure Time is a very nostalgic series. Even when you listen to the opening song, it feels very whimsical. Almost like it's reflecting on days of the past. It has that unique charm Animaniacs had, where it's clever enough to skip around the censors with some very vague adult jokes.
What about tier 15?
Stay away from that! Give up on life pants!
Pull down his pants like he did to moi!
2 golden apples!
And has a lot of content and references that clearly aren't aimed at a teen audience.
In the dark recesses of the
Jesus.
mind, a disease known as fear feasts upon the souls of those who cannot overcome its power.
But despite this children's content, the characters really are pretty stereotypical. I mean, when they simply state who they are out loud, we've really heard it all before. I'm the brave but not too bright adventurer with a good heart. Also, I was raised by dogs. See? That's perfectly normal. Okay, bad example. What about Jake? I'm the worldly friend and advisor. And also a shape-shifting dog who happens to play viola. Okay, well, the princess is a real stereotype.
I'm the classy and intelligent love interest who rules the kingdom of sentient candy?
The Ice King's kind of normal. I'm the misunderstood but well-meaning sociopath. Well, what about Lady Rainicorn? You can't say you haven't heard of that stereotype before. I mean, a rainbow shape-changing unicorn that speaks exclusively in Korean. Okay, never mind. What about Marceline? She's in every teen drama I can think of. Yeah, she's a perfect example.
I'm the untouchable goth girl from next door.
That's perfectly average.
So I'm a vampire.
See? Perfectly normal. Oh, forget it. Honestly, I've never seen anything like these characters in my life, and that's part of what made this top 10 list so challenging. Every second episode of Adventure Time is creatively unique and often very profound in its own way. But without further ado, the following is my top 10 best Adventure Time episodes of all time. Number 10. Slumber Party Panic. What could make a massive zombie uprising better? Having a slumber party with a candy kingdom at the same time. Despite this being the first episode, this was one of the best pilot episodes I've ever seen in any series. We get the introduction of all the Candy Kingdom characters in one single episode, and each one of them is colourful, interesting, and just completely unexpected. The entire premise of the episode is that every character in the Candy Kingdom is being distracted by a slumber party, while the princess and Finn try to stop a massive zombie uprising happening from outside. While the slumber party happens, Finn has to hold his promise from Jake to stop the candy people from exploding, trick the Candy Kingdom into killing the zombies, and then solve a complex equation set by the gods itself to set the time and space continuum back in motion. It's just a massive amount of new content, and from this amazing pilot episode, the writers established just how unpredictable this show would be all the way through. It's the episode that sucked me into the series and connected me with the characters. I think it's an easy choice for number 10. Number 9. Ocean of Fear. This is one of those episodes that doesn't only demonstrate Adventure Time's ability to be bizarre, it portrays an interesting message at the end that is surprisingly profound. When Finn fights his personal fear, it's something that reminds us of our own personal fears. And at the end, Finn hasn't necessarily conquered his fear. He's accepted his fear as an important flaw of who he is, and moves on.
Go away, Fear Feaster!
What? Am I supposed to live in your tummy for the rest of my life?
Everybody has a flaw, and it looks like yours is smelling like my nasty guts.
Wonderful.
It has clever wording, a simple, very thoughtful premise. And this is an episode I walked away from, feeling like I'd taken something important away from the show. It's not the funniest episode, but it's one of those episodes that you'll remember vividly as a unique gem among the 5 seasons of Adventure Time, because of its profound and relatable message. I strongly recommend giving this episode at least one watch.
I'm proud of you, man. You did it.
Number 8. Mortal Folly and Mortal Recoil. This is one of those few times a series attempts to be serious and dramatic, and it really pays off. For the first time, the Ice King and Finn work together to try and stop the princess from being possessed by their true enemy, the Lich King. This episode reveals to us, for the first time, that there are much darker enemies in the hiding, with plans to topple not only the Candy Kingdom, but the multiverse. And I found myself very invested in these characters. And for a series essentially about a world of candy people and a 12-year-old adventurer and his dog, that's pretty impressive. When you see this episode, Adventure Time suddenly has this new greater depth of a story which we hadn't realized before, and a dark presence looming beneath. Easily one of the best serious episodes. This is definitely worth at least one watch. Number 7. Hitman. In this episode, Ice King is confined to his castle and decides to lure a hitman to literally hit Finn and Jake. This episode is a hilarious chuckle all the way through, as the Ice King realizes hitman actually means assassin, and tries to stop the hitman from killing Finn and Jake. Just watching the Ice King try to reason with this silent black assassin and come with ways to stop him from assassinating Finn and Jake is so cleverly done.
Are you even listening? Oh, I get it. Here's double the grease to not kill Finn and Jake. You trying to hustle me, Scorcher? Okay, I'll play this game. How about this prize piece for your pad? I wanna live, live, live. I wanna live, live, live. Oh! Okay.
When you're watching the Ice King hiring a hitman to hit the hitman, that is hilarious.
Sheesh, $99.95? That's nuts.
It's another episode with the Ice King at his best, and made me chuckle all the way through. I don't hear this one mentioned often, but it's a definite personal favorite of mine. Number 6. Fionna and Cake. Most people do know this episode, or have at least heard of it. It's just a spectacle. One of those episodes of Adventure Time you'll start watching and will just be too intrigued to stop watching. Reverse every gender of the Adventure Time characters and that's it. It creates a surprisingly fascinating spectacle and an episode you won't forget. It's the Adventure Time creators trying something even more bizarre than usual and just running with it. And the results are easily one of the most unforgettable Adventure Time episodes there is, if just for how bizarre it feels. It has a conclusion which is so unexpected that you'll be chuckling over it long after you finish the episode. The interesting part about this episode is that their genders change, but their gender roles stay the same. Fionna is much like what you'd expect from Finn. She's very tomboyish, loves swords, and is a little thick on the courting hints. I'm not sure why they made Jake into a sassy black woman, but she kind of seems out of place with the others. Fionna, what I'm trying to say is, I can't help but notice how beautifully your eyes sparkle, and how truly you're
He's totally not into me. Oh, hell no, girl. You ain't got time for that. You did not just disrespect my girl.
Wait, what?
You have no idea how hard it is being a black woman in a white man's world.
But I guess this episode's absurd choices is part of what makes it so interesting. I highly recommend this episode, and think it's a fine choice for number 6.
I won't let anything in this world keep us apart.
Number 5. Holly Jolly Secrets. Jake and Finn find the Ice King's secret diary logs and start watching what is essentially an Ice King YouTube video log.
Hello, dear diary. Pretty good day so far. Got up bright and early, had a healthy and slimming breakfast, did 14 minutes of cardio.
Dude, what are we watching?
The entire episode is basically just them sitting down and gawking at the Ice King's bizarre personal life, trying to find his evil secrets within. Before doing that, they hang up posters of their secret viewing all around the town so no one will disturb them. That is just Adventure Time logic. The Ice King then spends the episode trying to join them because he's feeling lonely and wants to watch tapes with them.
Can I come in and watch the secret tapes with you? I brought some gifts.
Part of the beauty of Adventure Time is that it doesn't need some great villain or contrived evil that Jake and Finn have to fight all the time. All the characters are likable and have understandable motives, and this episode demonstrates that beautifully. I really like Christmas specials. They often feel artificial and forced, and just a product of the season. But this is one of those rare occasions where I was heartwarmed by this festive episode. It's not about Christmas or snow or being materialistic. It's simply about two friends just relaxing together and enjoying each other's company. It has a fascinating conclusion, which is probably the first insight we get into just how complex a world Adventure Time is. It has a past, and it appears to tell a story of an apocalypse on our society. An unforgettable episode. This Christmas special is an easy pick for number 5.
Would get together while wearing really big sweaters and watch videos on the floor next to a fire to celebrate the day when Finn and Jake had a fleeting moment of empathy for the biggest weirdo in OO.
Number 4. The Eyes. Jake and Finn are being watched by a horse. Thus, they can't get a good night's sleep because they know it's watching them. That's it. That's the premise. Just seeing Finn and Jake coming up with these elaborate ways to stop this horse from staring at them is hilarious to watch. Why are they so bothered by this thing? This episode is a blast all the way through. Just the face of the horse had me in stitches the entire time.
Forget it, man. This horse is whack. It's got poo brain.
I admit there's nothing too profound about it, but it has an unexpected conclusion that you'd never see coming that is funny and makes me smile every time I see it. There's only 3 characters in this episode, but that's all you need for it. It's simple but hilarious, and I could watch it 100 times over and still smile at the end. It has the simplest premise with one of the most plain and simple yet profound and important statements at the end about personal satisfaction, and sometimes problems seem clearer in the light of day. It's an easy choice for number 4.
I'm still not happy.
Number 3. 5 more short grables. This is among the funniest episodes of Adventure Time, and also has some of the most clever jokes. While Animaniacs had its own special way of dancing around the senses,
Composer and pianist.
You're a what?
A pianist.
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
this episode of Adventure Time pirouettes around the senses multiple times before mooning them and giving them the bird.
Oh, what a good boy am I!
Oh, what a good boy am I!
Oh, what a good boy am I!
It's an episode where seeing the Adventure Time characters at their very best constantly. The show purposely sets you up for an expectation, only to surprise you at the end with a completely different twist. This episode shows just how clever and just how much effort the writers put into Adventure Time episodes. If you're introducing a friend to Adventure Time, this is the episode to do it.
Do you feel like a good boy?
No, I don't.
Number 2. Vault of Bones. This episode makes you feel just like you're dungeoning with a friend in a game, and gives you all the excitement and best moments of it.
Take my place, take my place, take my place!
This episode isn't just good, it makes you feel good about life, about having fun. Just the simple phrasing Finn uses for what he says makes it interesting, and reminds us what a likable character he is.
Let's go have a good time in a dungeon or something. That always clears my head and reminds me of what's what.
And that'll make me good?
No, that'll show you not to worry so much. 'Cause you're already good. In here.
Okay.
Sometimes an episode doesn't have to be emotional and intense. Sometimes it can just be two friends having fun exploring a dungeon together. And in the end, I think that's one of the secrets to Adventure Time. You feel like you're right there exploring dungeons with Finn and Jake. And you get swept up in the environment and escape to the moment right there with them. It's been a very long time since I've been swept into the moment and into the world of a show so continually and effortlessly. Everything about this episode just makes me feel warm and fuzzy, and brings me back to the best moments of playing Neverwinter Nights or Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. This episode's a definite personal favourite, and I think it has everything it needs to be a near-perfect episode.
Thanks, Finn. That was a really awesome experience.
Maybe next time we should just go to, like, a farmer's market.
And burn it.
Try this key.
And without further ado, here's...
Super Ultimate High Five, go!
Number 1. Simon and Marcy. To me, this episode is just perfect. This episode is funny, heartwarming, and beautiful. It's essentially a past episode which gives us a background from 996 years in the past, between Ice King and Marceline, before the Earth was destroyed. It gives us a deeper depth on Simon and Marceline, a revelation on just what happened to the Earth, and it's just beautiful to watch all the way through. You see both the beauty and tragedy of the situation. It's another time Adventure Time goes serious, yet does emotional stories with subtlety and beauty. The characters and emotion feel very real. The struggle between Ice King and his mental struggle with the crown feels very real. His responsibility as a father figure to Marceline feels beautifully done. There's no part of this episode I just don't think is perfectly done. Tom Kenny, Ice King's voice actor, really displays his talent in this episode. I personally think he's come a long way from SpongeBob, and you can hear his mental struggle as he sings in a desperate attempt to keep his mind together, as he fights to protect Marceline.
You have to keep it together, Simon, for her.
Simon, you promise.
Dun, da 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 dun dun. Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't it be nice to get away?
I feel this added a new level of likability and complexity to Marceline's character that I really appreciated.
Well, he's very dear to my heart. I love him.
What you are talking about, Marceline?
I could watch this episode 1,000 times over, and chances are I'll watch it a few more times yet. I think it's the best choice for number 1 of the best Adventure Time episodes of all time.
Yeah. So what happened next? How's it end?
Well, little Marcy felt a lot better. And she and Simon lived happily ever after.
Oh, that's nice.
In the end, Adventure Time redefined animated television shows to the point that every upcoming Cartoon Network show will be trying to figure out its secret for years to come. While many shows often get worse and worse, Adventure Time just got better and better with each passing season. If you want a taste of some of the funniest, most heartwarming and clever animation ever brought to screen, check Adventure Time out to find out what you've been missing. Well, thanks a lot for watching. A special thanks to Animetist, and I'll see you next time.